I have a fresh air intake damper, which shows up as a U1 wire on my thermostat. I would like to upgrade my thermostat. Which ones can I use?
Who makes your thermostat? How old is it?
Honeywell, 2 years old, but it does not have an auto switch feature to go from heat to cool depending on temp.
What have you tried so far with your Honeywell thermostat?
I purchased the T5 thermostat. It has a U connection, but doesn't seem to be controlling the damper.
Anything else we should know to help you best?
No, just need help with thermostats.
Hi. I'm Os. Sorry to hear you're having issues with your thermostat. Even though the Lyric T5 has the U1/U2 terminals, I don't believe that it supports the universal relay, which you can use for ventilation. I think the Lyric T6 Pro does. The frustrating part is that the T5 uses Honeywell's Universal Wall Plate, UWP, which is shared by most thermostats and has terminals that it cannot use. If you get the T6 Pro, you will need to wire the U1/U2 terminals, set the jumper on the wall plate for 24V, and in the installer setup menu, go to function 1000 to 1018 to set up the venting. I've attached the manual for the T5, where on page 5 it states, does not support universal relay, U terminals, for ventilation. Hope this helps. Let me know if you need help setting this up afterwards as well. Thanks. Os.
I'll let you know what we find. I keep checking the damper, but I don't think it's turning on. I also don't know what percentage to set it for, as far as fresh air intake. Any thoughts? I even tried turning up the percentage to 100% and setting the ventilation to on. Went out to the intake grate and it's not sucking. If it helps, the damper is an Famco motorized damper model ADCW/24V motor.
Hi. Let's go over all of this then. I am assuming that the damper motor does not have a separate transformer, so we'll use the 24V from the system, and this is not just a normally open auxiliary relay, dry contact. If that is the case, you will need to move the U jumper to the up position, 1 wire. This will jump the lower U terminal to the RC terminal, which should have the R from the furnace. Connect once wire to the upper U terminal then, and the second wire to the C terminal. You can use a little bit of thermostat wire and a wire nut at the thermostat, or just connect one of the damper wires at the furnace to the C terminal, and the second to the upper U terminal at the thermostat. Hopefully that made sense. Now for the setup. In the installer setup, we need to change a few items. I won't mention the ones that will leave as default: 1000, vent type, fresh air damper 1007, bedrooms, set to hash of bedrooms in your house 1008, home size, set to square foot. Of your house 1011, vent percent on time, default is 30%, but set to how much fresh air you want. Most of the other options for ventilation deal with lockouts. Try this out. You can leave it at 100% to test. Let me know how it works.
That's exactly how I had it set up. Should we be able to hear the damper open and close if we are next to it in the attic? I mean, could it be working and we are just overthinking this? We have 3 blue wires tied together at damper. One goes to damper, one to thermostat, one to outside compressor. All attached to C terminal at board and air handler. Orange wire goes from damper to thermostat. U switch up, RC switch up, blue to B, green to G, yellow to Y, red to R, white to W.
Funny, overthinking is usually my issue. You can test it. 1. Seeing if the damper is open. 2. If it is not, you can check for 24V at the wires to the damper. If there is voltage and it is not open, then you may have a bad damper motor. 3. If there is no voltage, we need to see what is going on with the wiring/thermostat.
Husband left tester at work.
3 wires at the damper are okay. Orange to second leg on damper and then to upper U terminal on thermostat.
Please bear with me. You're so helpful. That's where we have the orange going. Sorry, should have said that.
No worries. We need to see if the damper is getting power or not. Get the voltmeter tomorrow and check and see if you have 24V between the blue C wire and the orange wire from the damper. If you do, the damper should be open. If it is not, then we need to see why we're not getting 24V. Let me know what happens and I am sure we can get this to work for you.
Thank you so much. More AC fun tomorrow.
No problem. The fun never ends.
After all this, we have no power going to those wires.
Okay. Other than the vent, is everything else working with the thermostat? Okay, good. So we know we have 24V going to the thermostat. A couple of quick questions. Previously, you said that you had the blue wire to B, but it should be connected to C, as that is how it is connected at the damper, right? If that is the case, can you move the blue wire to the C and try it again? Do you have a gas furnace or a heat pump?
No heat pump. The blue wire to B was a mistake. It's connected to the C port. Gas furnace.
When you check for power at the damper, with the blue and orange wires, was the orange wire still connected to the damper?
Both were.
Can you try it one more time? Leave the blue wire connected to the damper, but disconnect the orange wire from the damper. Once you do that, check for 24V with the orange wire going to the thermostat, without the damper connected, and the blue wire bundle. Let me know what happens also. What is the thermostat set to?
Thermostat is set to cool. 72 degrees. We are headed home in a few minutes, we will check again.
Sounds good. What is the temperature in the house?
Okay. It's on cool 72. Reading 72 currently inside. Husband about to go into attic and check those 2 wires again. We are getting 24V between bundle of blue and orange without damper. Would it help to see pics of inside of old thermostat wiring?
Okay, since you are getting 24V without the damper connected, then you have an issue with the damper. Can you see if it is stuck? If not, then you'll need to replace the actuator motor. Hope that makes sense. Basically, the thermostat is working and sending 24V to the damper. The damper is using up all the power, either because the actuator is defective, or the damper is stuck and overloading the actuator. The only other issue can be that there is not enough power on your transformer with the new thermostat and the damper, and in that case we would need to wire in a second thermostat.
It was reading 23 plus V. It sounds like it's getting enough power. We will check the damper to see if it's stuck tomorrow. If not, we will order new motor. I'll let you know what we find.
Sounds good.
Hey. The damper door is not stuck. It is moving freely.
Hi. Okay, good. So we're getting power from the thermostat and the damper itself is working. It looks like you have a bad actuator motor. Usually, we can buy just the motor to replace it. What kind of damper do you have?
AcU/24 Fanco. Motor says 645/24 V60 HC 60 RPH 39,491 liters 5621 1818. We figured it was the motor, but haven't been able to find the right motor to replace.
Might be worth calling Fanco in the morning to see if they sell the motor directly. From the specs, it looks like these might work, but I would call the seller to make sure. https://jacksonsystems.com/product/standard 2 wire replacement damper motor 24 volt https://retrozone.com/catalog/motor/directmotor.htm.
Thanks. We have emailed Fanco. But I'll look into these two as well.
Sounds good. Let me know.
Will do. Thanks.
If I am not the last to respond, the system thinks I am ignoring you. I'll wait to hear back.
Just wanted to update you. Fanco reached out to us and guided us on which motor to buy. I purchased it today. Now, waiting for delivery.
Awesome. Keep me updated, please.
Hello again, friend. We got the new motor today. Wired it in and still nothing. Husband tested wires again. Still reading 0. I have the percentage set to 100 for testing. AC is set to 68. And nothing.
Hi. Okay, we need to test two separate things. The first is that the transformer is capable of generating enough power to actuate the damper motor, and the second is that the wiring is okay. Grab either the new damper motor and connect two wires to it. 1. At the furnace, connect the wires to the C and R terminals and see if the damper actuates. If it does, then there is enough power at the transformer, although that is with no load. 2. At the thermostat wall plate, connect the damper with wires to the C and R terminals. If it actuates, then the power is getting to the thermostat. 3. Before you do this, make sure there is no power from the furnace to prevent damaging the transformer. At the thermostat, jump the R, hot leg from the furnace, and the U, orange, wire. In the attic, connect the damper to the orange wire and the blue C wire. Turn the power back on. Does the damper actuate? If it does, the wiring is okay. If it does not, we have a wiring issue. Let me know how it goes so we can continue. Thanks.
Hey. Okay. So, step 1, pass. Step 2, fail. There is no power going to the wires at the thermostat. We didn't go to step 3, we stopped.
Okay, good. Can you also take a picture of the thermostat wall plate for me so I can see the wires?
File attached, MZ7T4QT. Here is the old one.
Got it. Thanks. If you check for voltage between the blue, C, and red, R, wires, what do you get?
0, no voltage.
Okay, and the furnace is plugged in with its blower/board compartment door fully closed, right? Can you send me a picture of the furnace board showing the thermostat wires?
File attached, 15G753V.
Okay, thanks. Since you have 2 extra wires for the thermostat, let's try this. Shut off the power to the furnace. 1. At the thermostat, disconnect the blue, C, wire and cut the end off so it is not exposed, the least amount. 2. Take the spare brown wire, and carefully strip it about 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch and put it into the C terminal. Make sure you don't overstrip the wire and expose it elsewhere. An example would be your white wire, which looks like it has some extra insulation stripped. 3. Disconnect the blue wire from the thermostat at the furnace and cut the end so it is not exposed, the least amount. 4. Strip the brown wires about 3/8 inch at the furnace and connect it to the furnace board with the 2 other blue wires, condenser and damper. Once this is done, power the furnace back on and go check for voltage at the thermostat between the C and R terminals. Let me know what you get.
We have 0 slack on the blue wire at the thermostat. If we cut it, we will not be able to reuse later.
Okay, can you put a wire nut on it and tuck it into the wall? If not, it's not a huge issue, as we're disconnecting it at the furnace as well.
Okay. Doing furnace now.
Great.
28 volts.
Awesome. Connect the thermostat back up and the damper as well, and try running the damper from the thermostat again.
Okay, AC working. Damper set to 100%. And it's still not opening. Should it open all the time? When on AC or heat?
Okay, can you check for power at the damper between the orange and blue wires?
0 volts.
Okay. So we have one of 2 issues. Either a wiring problem, or a thermostat setting. Let's start with the thermostat.
Okay.
You have the Lyric T6 Pro, right? In the advanced menu, what do you have for ISU 1000? 1006 and 1011.
1000 passive. I don't have 1006. 1011 is 100%. 1005 just says %, vent method. There are no options to select this or change it.
Okay, I think 1000 is the issue. Can you change it from passive to fresh air damper? When you do that, you should then get 1006 and set it to thermostat.
It's none of passive. Directions say if you have fresh air, set to passive. File attached, G45G17M.
Interesting, I've set it to fresh air damper previously. For passive, fan only, the thermostat turns on the fan for ventilation. When set to passive fan, the thermostat does not control a damper or ventilator. The passive ventilation/passive fan setting only runs the indoor blower fan. This setting does not open a damper or run a ventilator. To use this setting for ventilation, the home would need to be set up with a pipe from outdoors into the return duct that is either permanently open or has a damper that automatically opens whenever the blower fan is on. Note, some models only offer the passive fan setting.
I just read that.
This will not work with passive, as it basically expects the damper to be always on, and turns the fan longer to achieve your percentage. Let me check one more thing. Which model of the T6 do you have? TH6320WF 2003 or TH6220WF 2006?
2006.
That makes sense now. From the T6 lyric submittal sheet, attached, the U terminals are TH6320WF only. 1 step forward, and 2 steps back.
I'm hearing we still have the wrong thermostat.
On a positive note, the issue with the C wire at the thermostat is resolved. And yes, it's the wrong thermostat. Is it possible to exchange it?
But I may kill myself in the process, just for fun.
Model TH6320WF 2003, up to 3H/2C heat pump systems or up to 2H/2C conventional systems. Dual fuel and no heat lockout with outdoor sensor or internet weather. Ventilation control with ERV/HRV or fresh air damper. Model TH6220WF 2006, up to 2H/1C heat pump systems or up to 2H/2C conventional systems. Auxiliary heat lockout with outdoor sensor or internet weather. Geofence capable, Apple HomeKit compatible, selectable range of stops, max heat and min cool, DST enabled, 5-year warranty.
Can you give me the exact unit I need?
As per their documentation, it is the TH6320WF 2003. Generally speaking, the main differences are the stages, but now I see that on top of getting extra stages that you won't use, you also get the fresh air damper.
Okay. I'll exchange. Thank you again for your help.
No worries. Sorry for the craziness. Please let me know how it goes.
Got everything up and going. Damper is working. During setup, it gave options of 2 codes, 2010 or 2013 or percentage. I picked percent and set it to 10. I really didn't know how to set it up.
Awesome. There is a little bit of black magic with the settings. Typically we set 1000, vent type, fresh air damper 1007, bedrooms, set to hash of bedrooms in your house 1008, home size, set to square foot. Of your house 1011, vent percent on time, default is 30%, but set to how much fresh air you want. I would use this as a baseline. The metric is partially qualitative. If the air feels stagnant, you need to increase from 30%. If you feel that you're getting too much cold/hot/humid outside air, then you need to decrease it. Hope that helps. Glad it worked out.
Thank you so much for everything.
My pleasure.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.